Straight ahead on The Drift, he built a skiff in high school, found it abandoned and rebuilt it. We'll meet him. Plus, the Boat US experts show you how to beach your boat so that you can leave when you'd like to. Boat US Captain Clint Allen is here to discuss the dangers and prevention of boat fires. And the Massachusetts Marine Trades Educational Trust is doing great work in attracting young people to careers in marine trades because they care. Also, our own Mr. Yachts takes us out on one of the hottest ribs in Florida. All this and a whole lot more is right around the bend on The Drift. Welcome to The Drift. I'm your host, Sierra Goodwill. In New England and a rich boat building tradition go hand in hand. Today, John Mathias spends some time at South Shore Boat Works and checks on the restoration of a classic skiff.
So, at Marshfield High School, they gave you a choice: home economics or boat building. You clearly chose home economics, right?
Sure.
Now, so this boat, you built this boat at Marshfield High School.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They had a shop, which is interesting, if you ask me. It's great that you learn these skills. But tell me about this boat in particular.
This boat was built in 2003. I was a senior at high school. This was my buddy's boat. This was his project. I had a lot of hands-on with it as well, but it was used right out of school. He had the option to buy it at cost. It was for materials.
Okay.
And he took it home. We put some fiberglass on the bottom, and then it didn't hold up. It sat for 10 years.
So this thing sat for 10 years rotting away, essentially.
Just
right?
it was the bottom. Everything else on here right now is original. Just some sanding and, just putting lipstick on it for the most part.
So it's still, all of this is original.
All original, all the
Sanding
rails
it
and
down.
everything.
What's the rail here? Just mahogany?
That's mahogany rails. Yeah, there's mahogany seats over here. I can bring those over.
Yeah, let's check the seats out. Let's come on over. So these are the original mahogany seats.
These are
Well, you're
original
gonna love mahogany, hand.
from 2018. That was just ran through the sander.
That looks like the day it went in. How are you gonna finish this?
It'll get a little more sanding. I scrape it with the heat gun first. Heat gun and the scraper. And then ran it through the sander. I'll just finish up the ends, the edges, and then stack varnish on it, captain's varnish.
So that right now there seems to be a thirst for these classic skiffs.
I agree.
These wooden skiffs, right? You put like a vintage, either sort of a retro vintage style engine on that, or you find a vintage engine and rebuilt it and refurbish it. You will shine at the marina amongst the $1 million boats, right? When you pull up on that one,
we're on the same page, yeah, for sure.
So tell me about how a guy like you gets into this business. Like, what brought you back? I know in high school you took boat building, but then you went off and did some other things. What brought you to being sort of this boat building field?
I took right out of high school. I started lobstering a little bit, working in the seafood industry. Took a break from that, went in the military, came back, went back into fishing. I was back from a trip a couple years ago and came in to check out a boat these guys were working on, and I've never left.
Like you literally have never left the building?
Maybe.
Hey, you can, it's okay.
I don't
you
stray
live here.
far.
All
I
right.
don't stray far.
So, but you love it, man. You're back.
Yeah, for sure.
I find it an interesting story that you're back to the boat that
Kind
you
of.
built.
Yeah, it's when a
Built in high
lot of
school.
things have gone full circle.
And you also, you're key in building the wheels
Yes,
that this
Bob.
place is known for.
Became my
Bob's Wheels.
sensei, so
Sensei.
to speak.
The
you know.
boat wheel sensei.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah,
So what's the next step on this skiff?
prime it. I'm hoping to get some primer on it today.
So pretty much sand it down, fix any fasteners that you need to fix, tighten up any boards that might be loose.
Once we put the bottom in, we filled some stuff up in here, just little separation stuff, like body filler pretty much, fixed corners. Yeah.
Held up well. That's a
it'll-
great project.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. We put it in. It'll be nice to have to go for a little cruise in, like after work.
And it will get all the eyeballs at the marina.
It's gonna get a ton of attention for sure.
Find more Boat Build at driftsociably.com and on our social platforms at Drift Sociably. Straight ahead on the Drift, it's the Boat US pros at the helm with tips on better beaching. And the dangers of a fire aboard. Boat US Captain Clint Allen talks about how to prevent one.
At the Helm is brought to you by Boat US. Better boating starts here.
So you want to relax on the beach or at the sandbar. Sounds fun, right? This time on At the Helm with Boat US, we'll show you how to beach your boat so that you can leave when you'd like to.
Okay, so we've got our anchor set up in the back corner of the boat. Anne's gonna lower it over gently and drop the hook where we need it to be a little bit off the beach. We're gonna motor in, trim up the engines, and beach the front of the boat like you would ordinarily. And you can set that down anytime. Now Anne's got two jobs. One, of course, is to lower that anchor to the bottom gently, and the other one is to pay out this rode away from the propellers. Okay, so I'm gonna motor into the beach really slowly now. And she's gonna keep feeding rode out of the anchor locker so we make it. All right, when you get close, shut them off, trim them up just like you would ordinarily. Okay, so our boats come in, it's gently nudging the beach. We're only gonna be here temporarily. We're just unloading crew and gear. So I'm gonna just go ahead and pass this over. The nice thing about doing this temporarily is all your gear goes over the side to somebody who's standing on dry ground, and you don't have to worry about losing anything overboard. This is also when we're going to pass our stern anchor to the crew on the beach. So let me go grab that. Now I've got my stern anchor set to run free, and I've got it opposite of the side we dropped our bow anchor on, so the boat will spin more easily. Go ahead and give her plenty of line. Now, my crew's gonna give me a little shove, get me pointed in the right direction. I'm gonna use that anchor rode to pull myself back out in position. Don't have to start the engines, don't have to do anything. Put some tension between the two and the boat will be in position. Okay, when I have the boat pretty much where I want it, just go ahead and snub off the anchor rode. And then my crew member can put some tension on the stern anchor, and we're all set. So what we've done is we snubbed off the anchor when we got far enough out. Then my crew pulled the stern line to give us a little tension. We cleated ourselves off here with just enough tension to kind of hold us in position. I'm in about 3 feet of water here. That's kind of the depth I need for my swim ladder. You can be as deep as you want, but right now I'm gonna swim to the beach.
Thanks, Mike. And with these tips, I won't be left high and dry next time I beach it. And we like to say better boating starts at Boat US. Visit driftsociably.com for more At the Helm with Boat US. We all know the people and organizations who selflessly give back. We're honored to tell the stories of those who care. Today we feature good folks on an amazing mission.
All right, welcome to the Drift Cares, and with us today is Randall Lyons of the Massachusetts Marine Trades Association, the MMTA.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the Marine Trust.
Absolutely. So in 2003, approximately, the association decided to start a branch of the MMTA, which was an educational trust. It's a nonprofit 501c3 association, ultimately focusing on the educational component of the association and trying to build future employees within the industry. As a branch of that, we also are trying to get more youth involved in the industry, trying to build the industry, whether it be boaters or employees in the future. On that front, we offer educational scholarships for those that are looking to take courses or looking to start off in the association or in the industry and learn more about it. And then we also created a grant program, basically called the Kids in Boating Grant Program. That program helps support nonprofit youth boating programs that are already in place. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we do want to support those other nonprofits that are trying to build future boaters within the industry, sailing, boating lessons, the environmental impact of boating within the industry, whatever it may be. We want to try to help them as well.
So how would I go about applying and criteria?
Sure. So 2 of our sites. The main website, Mass Marine Trades Association, is boatma.com. You can learn more about our Kids in Boating initiative there. You can learn more about future possibilities for grant opportunities. And then our scholarship fund for those interested in learning more about working in the industry. You can find information there at massboatingcareers.com. Again, massboatingcareers.com. And that is the site that's owned by our educational trust there. So that's got information on job and career opportunities. So you can see what's available out there that our members are hiring for. You can see the schools that we work for and some of the opportunities available there. And then we also have our scholarship application there as well.
Randall, the MMTA, doing great things.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for caring.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful people doing such important work. As always, you can find more information and more Drift Care segments at driftsociably.com and at driftsociably on social media. Head on the Drift. It's an amazing rib and one of the coolest tenders on the water. Mr. Yachts gets us underway.
The Drift Podcast can be found at driftsociably.com.
Now it's time for From the Cast, a bit of information from one of the boating industry's fastest growing podcasts. This time, Captain Clint Allen on the dangers and prevention of boat fires.
Today we're going to talk about something serious, boat fires. You've seen plenty. We all know they can happen. We're going to talk about the 5 causes or the main causes of boat fires. And we know you just fought one in a multi-million-dollar yacht, New Bedford, Massachusetts. And I was around that fire and I saw the black smoke and it burned for quite some time. And when fiberglass and plastics are burning, it's not a good thing, obviously. So what did you do how was that fire fought? What did you guys do to fight that fire?
We were actually just asked to see if we could help out. We happened to be in the area, and the more water we could put on it, the better. So they asked us if we had firefighting capability, and the answer was yes, so that's how we got involved.
So you use your pumps?
Yeah, just the same pumps that we use to if you were sinking.
Right.
We have a attachment hose and a fire nozzle that goes on it.
Okay.
And it's basically just it's not high pressure or like a actual firefighting hose, but it can do the job, pump some water.
Because we've seen situations where entire marinas go up.
Yeah, the domino effect, and especially depending when it starts, if there are people in the marina at the time, like this particular incident, you get warning. But if that would have happened at 10 o'clock at night,
Right.
by the time the authorities are notified, it may have already caught another boat on fire, depending on the wind direction, and then it just goes like dominoes.
Yeah, and people are sleeping on boats, they're liverboards.
Yeah, yep.
You know, a boat can be a dangerous place when there's fire and smoke.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people don't realize that in most boats, I don't know if it's build code on a boat or what it is, that hatch below should be big enough to act as an escape hatch,
Sure,
right?
yeah. You could encounter a situation where you go out your gangway and it's fire,
Right.
if that's where your engine's located or whatever.
Most likely that's where it's going to be.
Right. So yeah, that's a good thought. And I think all hatches, I don't know if purposely, I would imagine probably at some point they realize that needs to be big enough for an escape.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a good thing to look at on your vessel. Like think to yourself, all right, if I'm asleep below and I can't get out and aft is blocked and there's fire, how do I get out of this boat?
Right.
Because you may say, there's an escape hatch or a hatch large enough to escape, but do I have something to step on to get out of that hatch in a panic situation? And maybe a fire drill's not a bad idea on a boat.
Just
Talk
going
to
to say
your
maybe a
family
good
about
review of that. God forbid it ever happens, but you need to realize if you can escape. Yeah. I guess that's a real good thought. If you're not strong enough to pull yourself up through the hatch,
Yeah. So you're underway, and let's say there's a boat fire. Try to put it out? Do you just don your PFDs and jump into the water and hope the boat flows away from you? I mean, what have you encountered that?
So I suppose if you contact the Coast Guard, they're going to advise you to they don't want you to get in further trouble, so
Yeah.
they're ready. Do you have life jackets available? Don them, perhaps. Be ready to get in the water. Me personally, I'm going to try and put the fire
Right.
out.
You have an extinguisher or auto extinguisher on the
Right,
boat. Or,
but it's risky because if it's an engine room fire, the minute you supply
the
air
hatch.
to it, you open the hatch and supply air, it can flame up, and
Yeah.
it become more dangerous. So, but it's tough. If you don't open it, what are you going to do? It's going to keep burning.
right.
So it's a tough decision to make. But I'd have a fire extinguisher prepared and give it a shot. If you can't close the engine box,
Right.
try to suffocate it.
And while you're doing it, have your guests and family ready to
ready
to go.
Right.
my fire extinguisher's probably been on my boat for a couple of years. How often should you check that? Every season to make sure is there a date on the fire extinguisher or?
There is a date, and they're actually, I think they're like 10-year that they're good, but manufacturer
Right.
date. But there's a gauge on it, and it has a good and bad indicator.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're in the green still, I'll still keep them, but I will observe the manufacturer's date and discard them or put them aside as used
Right.
and get a new one.
So assess situations wherever you are. If you're in your marina, try to put it out. If you have to leave, if you feel like it's getting away from you, alert as many folks as you can while you leave the marina, especially if it's at night. There could be people living on boats. We've seen marinas go up. Be smart about fire protection and keep an eye on things. Use your nose, right?
Mm-hmm. If, like you said earlier on in this segment, you said perhaps a fire drill.
Yeah, good point.
For your family, it's good to run through the scenarios.
Clint,
Keep you safe.
as usual, thank you and great information.
Thank you.
Valuable information as always there, Clint. And remember to follow the Drift podcast at driftsociably.com and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey Drifters, The Drift comes to you from our sociable DGI Communication Studios. Get the drift?
We love sunny Florida, and as always, Nick Cardoza, or as we call him, Mr. Yachts, has found another amazing ride.
Wow, what a beautiful day up here at Lighthouse Point. What's up, guys? Nick Cardoza here. Wanted to get you on board this brand new 2021 Panamera 100. It's a new rib brand out of Italy. It's a ribbed, rigid, inflatable boat. It's an amazing technology for boats. They're not very well known here in the United States. They're super popular in Europe, especially in Greece, like the islands for island hopping, Greece, Turkey, Italy, south of France. They're very popular for tenders to super yachts because of the soft sides. But don't be fooled, they're not made out of rubber. They're made out of a material called Hypalon. It's a very durable, composite material. You got government entities that are big on ribs because of all the aforementioned stuff that I just told you about, right? But this is obviously, a luxury version. So you've got really nice cushions with, diamond stitching, and you've got full teak decks throughout the boat. You've got a high-end JL Audio outdoor speaker system with subwoofers. So what makes Rib technology so unique is that it's a deep V hull, and it's got the pontoons on the side and all the way around, which give it a lot more buoyancy. It makes it a lot lighter weight, but it also underwater makes it more like a multi-hull, like a trimaran, because you've got the deep V in the middle with the two pontoons keeping it stable. We've got the two couch sofas that face forward. This is good because when you're going fast, you want to have a lower center of gravity, right? And this center console is really nice because, here, you just pull it up and you've got a full bar, right? So you get your cooktop here, you can put a grill here if you want, You know, the little ice storage, whatever. You got a sink. It's just such a beautiful helm station. I love how they put everything together. You've got your audio here. Everything's really within arm's reach. And of course the table here that turns into a sun pad or dining table. Now let me show you the interior, and that should be a wrap. But what's cool is that you've got twin beds down there, a full bathroom with a shower. I mean, you can really overnight on this boat. I've done it. It's amazing. You got to try it. This is like a little mini pocket yacht. I love this boat.
Love it, Nick. You finally found a yacht that I think I could captain. For the full test ride and more Mr. Yachts, visit driftsociably.com. Well, Drifters, that's it this time. As always, thanks for joining us at the social place for boating, The Drift. For more content like this, like, follow, share, and subscribe to The Drift at Drift Sociably or visit us at driftsociably.com. For all of us here at The Drift, I'm Sierra Goodwill. Drift Sociably. Get the drift?
The Drift has been brought to you by Boat US. Better boating starts here. Join today.